part 2 of Romantasy book recommendations that I love. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. If you like vampires, then this one is for you. Like the last 2 books that I talked about, there are also trials in this book that's just like a really popular YA or just fantasy thing. I personally love trials in a book. I feel like it makes it so high stakes and entertaining, and I just feel like it's a great way for the main characters to get together. The MC in this book is a human who is adopted by a vampire king, so she's just kind of like surrounded by vampires, but she's a human. So of course she was raised to know how to handle herself. She's trying to prove her worthiness and her belonging by entering this trial where you basically are proving yourself and you get to talk to this goddess at the end of it. This book was crazy. I still need to read the next book or the next books because I haven't, and it left off on such a cliffhanger. Once Upon a Broken Heart, if you like magic, fairy tales, and things like that, this one definitely has all those vibes. It feels like a storybook at times. This is one of those ones that I've reread because I just want to have that feeling again of when I read it because it was just so good. The biggest part of this book for me, like the soul of it, was truly the romance. It was so good and just like romantic. It was amazing. If you like sarcastic, witty, cold, kind of sadistic MMCs, then this one's great. I feel like a lot of traits that are really good in fantasy guys are like sometimes not great in contemporary romance ones, but this one really works, and Jax is also just one of my favorite characters. Stephanie Garber's writing is some of the most magical writing that I have ever read. The descriptions and the concepts, the imagery, like how things are said, it's all so good. Last but not least, we have The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I definitely think romance is a huge part in this. There are also trials in this book that the main character is competing in, but instead of having a romance with someone who is competing in the trials, she has a romance with Hades, the god, who chooses her to be like his competitor, his human competitor in these games. The concept of this book is basically all the gods fighting it out, but instead of using themselves, they choose humans to fight for them. It's one of the most romance-based out of these.